Beth Dunn here from the Louisville branch of Urban Strategies, here today to show you another fun and easy craft that you can do at home while we're stuck inside. This one's going to be a little bit more not dangerous than our last one, but you want to make sure that you have your parents' help because we are going to be dealing with some boiling water. As you can see, you've got some steam coming off of it already. I'm going to turn it down a little bit while I explain what we're doing. So today we're going to be making jelly soaps. So imagine that you had Jello, but you were able to wash yourself with it. It sounds kind of gross, but it's kind of cool once it's done. So we're going to need a few things in order to do that. The first thing is unflavored gelatin. You're going to need 2 packets of it. You're going to need a cup of hand soap. That's kind of up to your discretion what kind you want to use. Usually all natural is better. I already had some that was pre-colored and pre-scented, so I didn't have to use food coloring or essential oil, which is what you would end up using if you didn't have those things. And then you would have a mold of some sort. I just grabbed the first one I could find. I know it's snowman, even though it's like 70 degrees outside, but you don't have to have a mold. I understand not everyone does this kind of stuff every day, so you can use something around the house, like the lid of a jar, or you can use something like this, which is just a little candle votive, and I'm going to show you how this works. Really anything that will give you the desired shape that you want, but also won't melt from the heat. So we got to be really careful about that. Again, parents, please don't let your kids do this by themselves. All right, so the first thing we're going to do is I've already kind of started. I've measured 1 1/2 cups of water into this pan to boil. And what I'm going to do is add my 2 packs of gelatin. And you're going to want to stir that in once they're both in there. And you're going to let that sit until it is completely dissolved. So you shouldn't see any little chunks of anything floating around. And that might take a few minutes. So yeah, make sure it stays boiling. You can have your parents probably do this part. It takes a little bit. So something I will say kind of while we're waiting for this to dissolve, is that this soap can be used either as hand soap or it can be used in the tub. It should give you nice, really good bubbles. It does only last for so long. So sometimes if it didn't get your ratios quite right, or if you have hard water, it can kind of make your soap turn out a little funky and it may not keep for as long because gelatin is a natural product. So sometimes I've heard stories of people having issues with theirs, not using certain preservatives or not doing whatever, and theirs would start to mold. I've never had that personally happen with mine, but it is a possibility, so make sure you keep an eye out on that and get rid of it if that were to happen. So, but this stuff can come out really cool. Something I'm not doing with mine is some people like to add glitter, or micro beads or things like that. I don't personally like to do that. I don't like glitter. I think it gets everywhere. And micro beads and stuff like that aren't really that good for the environment. So I try to avoid that if I can. But by all means, if that's your thing, go for it. You can use any sort of dye that you can buy at a craft store. You can use food coloring, just like I said. Only use a little bit. You don't need much. All right, so I think we're just about there as far as it being dissolved, and I'll let you all have a look at that in just a second. All right, so let the boil settle a little bit. Oh, no, we still got a couple pieces left. Let's get those sorted. Sometimes when it starts to get all foamy, it's hard to tell, so every now and again, maybe lift it up, turn the heat down a little bit so it doesn't boil over, because no one wants that. And it may have a little bit of a funky smell. Not like Jell-O that's already got your flavors and stuff like that in it. It's going to be just plain, kind of nasty looking goop, for lack of a scientific term. I'm trying to break up those pieces still. I think we're just about there. A few pieces are just being a little bit difficult, and that's okay. You've got a couple like I do. If you need to, you can always just scoop them out. I think I just had a couple get stuck to the sides when I first started. I kind of burned them a little bit, messed them up. All right, so once that's dissolved, we are going to take our cup of soap and we're going to add it to our mixture. And you're almost going to see this really cool reaction, like almost right away. It's kind of hard for me to show you. But once it's all incorporated, you can kind of stir it in. Once it's all kind of the same the same color. Do not taste this. This will not taste good. It might look like it would, but it would not. So, kind of got, it's hard to see with the lighting, but it's kind of all the same color, and it looks like we finally got all the little pieces to dissolve. So normally at this time, what you would do, I've already added soap that had a scent to it. Once this is all mixed together is when you would add your essential oils, and then you would add your food coloring if you wanted it. But again, that's optional. Same with glitter, same with mica, microbeads, any of that stuff. So what we're going to do now is turn off your stove. That's really important. Make sure you turn your stove off. I'm going to wipe up my mess that I made a little bit here before we start on our molds. And this part, definitely have your parents do. This part is going to be the part that you could hurt yourself, okay? So what we're going to do is we're going to carefully pour it into our molds. You can use a funnel for this. I'm kind of freewheeling it here because I've done this before, but if that's something you're more comfortable with doing, that's totally fine. Add a little bit more to each one. All right, so this is going to take about 30 minutes to set up and to turn into what we want it to turn into. So I'm going to stop the video and I'm going to come back in a little bit and show you our final product. Okay, everybody, we're back, and I've let my soap set up to where they're nice and firm. So we're going to just kind of flop our molds over here and gently pop them out to see our final product. And I'll show one up close as soon as I'm done getting them all out. Just bear with me for a second. One more. All right, so as you can see, they just look like little Jell-O things. It looks like a snowman. And you can just use it to, you can kind of see where the soap kind of bubbles up on the back there. That's not a big deal. It's fine if that's that way. But yeah, so then you can just take it and use it like any other soap and wash your hands. So hopefully you all enjoyed this. It's super easy, and have a good one.